Welcome back to another review by Mega Train Lover. Today we're having a look at another locomotive, and this time, as you can see, it's a Hornby locomotive, and it's super detailed, as you can see there, and you can probably tell from the picture what it is, but if you don't, this is a Class C1 in British Rail early emblem livery, and its number is 33017. If we turn to the side, its product code is R2355A, BR060, Class Q1 locomotive, and it says DCC ready, but I have already fitted it with a decoder, and it's not in the box, it's out of the box, and it's been run in, etc, etc. And this is the old style box by Hornby, and it's still the polystyrene box where you had to basically put your fingers in the back and just push the engine out. And then when getting this in, the packaging is so tight, I really didn't want to put the engine back in, just in case I ruin it or something. But a bit of history about these. These were designed by Oliver Bulleid, and they were all built in 1942. The reason why it looks so strange is because this was an austerity design. Now, basically what that means is it was built under two conditions. One, it had to be powerful and light, and two, it had to be both easy to build and easy to maintain. So basically, in terms of the light part, they had to be light enough to have a great route availability. Now, Bulleid ended up producing, despite how bare it looks, he ended up producing what became the most powerful 060 ever built in Britain. The reason why it looks so bare is because Bulleid, he basically removed anything that was essentially surplus requirements, and looks, he didn't take looks into account. All that mattered was that the engine could work. Looks were for the powerful expresses like the A4s and Kings and GWR King class and castles and whatnot. This, all that mattered was that it worked, and it did work. They were extremely easy to maintain, and they were so reliable that all of them passed into BR ownership in 1948, and all 40 of them. Basically all 40 of them survived into BR, and they were withdrawn in the 1960s. So they had a lifespan of, just over 20 years. Only one member of the class has been preserved, and that's number 330001. And its BR number was 33001, but its Southern Railway number is C1, and it's currently at the National Railway Museum in York. So yeah, an austerity design, and these were nicknamed Ugly Ducklings. They were also known as Charlies. I'm not too sure why, but the ugly duckling part I do get. They were, they're not the prettiest locomotive, but nonetheless, this model by Hornby, it's been produced for a number of years, and they still make it today. This model by Hornby, as you'll see, is quite a faithful representation of the class. Now let's put the box to one side, and the locomotive is right here. So here we have the engine, and just behind we have the tender. Now this is the old style connector, so you can easily just slot the engine and the tender together, like so. Now we'll put the tender to one side for now, and we'll have a look at the engine, which, as you can see, just wow. Wow, just look at that. Just absolutely brilliant. I mean, okay, she's not the most beautiful engine, a lot of people will agree, but in terms of the level of detail and also how well it looks compared to the real locomotive, it is absolutely amazing. Now let's start with some of the details. So you get sprung buffers, as you would expect, and all this detail at the front, so these brake pipes, and then even the brake rods on both the locomotive and the tender, they were already pre-fitted, something which you don't get on models. Okay, well, to be honest, to be fair, this was a not to be fair, but this was a pre-owned model, so I'm not too sure whether the previous owner had fitted them or whether it comes like that. But yeah, I do believe, I think I did see other reviews of the Q1 brand new, and they do come pre-fitted, which is really, really nice, because on other models you had to fit them yourself. Let's look at the front. Okay, it's not very beautiful, the engine itself, but of course the level of detail is really, really nice. I love the I think those are the pistons just there, and how sort of they're very steeply inclined, as you can see. On other locomotives they're more level, but here they're very, very inclined. You get lamp irons on the smoke box as well as on the front. As you can see, I have fitted a lamp just here, just to make it a bit more realistic. And there's its number at the front, 33017, and there's its shed code plate of, let's just allow the camera to focus. Come on. Yep, 71A. We turn to the other side. This is one of my favourite features about the model. This is the lubricator, and I just absolutely love when the wheels are turning, and then this kind of just spins around with it. That's a really, really nice touch. I mean, just look how bare it is. Look, there's no running board. You only have this section at the front for the buffer beam, but even then, I do believe that just to clean the smoke box out, they had to put a plank over the buffers, just to have something to stand on. I mean, it is, look at it, I mean, just look, it is so bare that I think anyone could fix this. Anyone with, even with the most minimum of sort of engineering skills could probably fix this. It is so bare. And you can see the wheels. These are the typical bullied wheels, to save on weight. And this was also very material saving and a very weight saving measure as well to build this engine. Of course, it was an austerity design. It's not for looks. It's purely purpose over appearance. But nonetheless, this model by Hornby is a brilliant representation. And look at the cab. Oh wow! Just that's quite detailed. This tooling is quite old. I think it's from 2003 or so. I mean, this model is more newer than that, but nonetheless, they still use the same tooling. You can clearly see the regulator just sort of, hung across the cab, if you'd like. You can see all the gauges and the pipe work in there. A firebox door. Yeah, overall that is quite a nice cab. Obviously, cabs these days are a hell of a lot more detailed, but for a model that's over 15 years old, it's quite impressive. There's its number, 33017. There's its power classification, 5FA. I don't know what the A stands for, but obviously F stands for freight. And the fact that it's got a 5 classification, despite it being an 060, is just incredible. And look at, despite the size of it, if you just look at the size of the engine, it's only marginally, bigger than, say, I wouldn't say an M7, but say it's only marginally bigger than a Ginty, for example, or any other 060. And despite that, it is much more powerful than any of them. On the whole, even with a tender, this engine is not big at all. But nonetheless, it's really, really nice. At the top, you get these safety valves and a whistle. Both of them are separately fitted. There's not much less, but I also love this pipe work just here. and also here as well. These are the I think these are the injectors, but I love how detailed they are. Okay, now you have to be careful. As you can see, I did move them, but you have to be very, very careful. These are extremely delicate. But the pipework nonetheless is very, very intricate. I mean, as you can see, even these are exposed. Obviously they'd be exposed at this end, but even here, it's just, you know, further emphasises the fact that these were built with ease of maintenance in mind. But yeah, on the whole, this engine looks really, really nice. But now let's have a look at the tender. Let's put the engine down, and here's the tender. And as you can see, it's got the British Railways early emblem. And there's the front of the tender. You can see you've got the handbrake there on the left. And there's the pin that slots into the locomotive at the back. Oh, the engine rather. I think the coal is removable. Let me just see. You know, I'm not going to attempt it. But as you see, it's got 6 wheels, and it's got the brake rods already added, and despite its size, it's actually quite a heavy tender, and even the engine, considering its size, is quite heavy as well, which is good. That means loads of traction. But even the tender does have a bit of weight to it. You do get NEM coupling on the back, and again sprung buffers, and you get all this sort of very, very delicate detail with these step ladders, and then the ladder up to the top of the tender. The very, very delicate pieces of detail. You get the water filler cap. What else is there to talk about? I love these doors here, which you know, prevent the crew from falling out when the engine is on the move. And you know, I've just noticed the coal bunker, if you like, is very much offset, because you've got this slot here, just to the left. Yep, as you can see, I do believe that's where you can put the tools, the fireman's tools. But yeah, it's a nice touch. I mean, even on the real locomotive, it was, you know, offset like that. So yeah, on the whole, despite how let's just put these two together. Yep, there you go. On the whole, despite how, well, ugly this engine looks, it is still very, very nice. I mean, the level of detail is just brilliant, and it's such a good representation of such a hideous locomotive. But yeah. Anyway, looks are one thing, and detail. Let's see how she performs. So here we have the Hornby Q1 on the track, and wow, it just looks so nice. But anyway, so she has been DCC fitted as is standard with all my models. So let's select her number, which is number 39, and off she goes. Wow. Okay, so I've set the controller to halfway. She isn't very fast because she wasn't built for speed, but nonetheless, she's running really, really well. I love on the, if I just come to the other side, there we go. Just love this lubricator just sort of, you know, just flapping about, if you like, and just on the side there. Yeah, really, really nice. Anyway, let's get a few live side shots. So yeah, as you can see, on the whole, really, really nice. So in conclusion, I highly recommend her, despite the fact that, well, she's not the most, she's not the prettiest of locomotives, but if you're a Southern Railway fan, then she is essential. I mean, come on. She's so quirky, despite her appearance, she's very, very quirky. Just a very, very nice addition to the collection. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next review. Goodbye.